All right. Good afternoon, people of the earth. That's going to be a short video, but I had a video called Suppression of Authenticity where I talked about a basic principle, which is suppression, and I then used real life examples to explain what exactly suppression is. I used my own examples, my own, experiences, philosophy, etc. But I didn't talk about the medical part of it too much. And in order for anything in this video to make sense, I suggest you watch the first part because otherwise nothing that I'm going to say is going to make sense to you. Right. Now, if you've already watched it, let's go. Now, we've talked about suppression and why it is dangerous. Why it is dangerous to, in real life and in homeopathy and medicine, to suppress the symptoms which your body expresses and basically hide everything within and not allow it to have an outflow, right? Let's talk about, let me give you some examples of irreversible and temporary forms of suppression. Now, an irreversible form of suppression, and I'm also reading off my last essay, is self-drugging, long-term consumption of medication, removal of organs, surgery, steroid consumption, drugs which alter function for mental disorders, chemotherapy, and vaccination. After those forms of suppressing the vital force and, you know, yeah, after these types of actions, it is likely that the effect is not reversible, because if you remove an organ, your body will never be able to perform the same way, even with a new organ implant. Same with steroid consumption. As we know, once you expose your body to certain chemicals, once you alter the function of your body to a certain degree, it becomes irreversible. Now, some temporary forms of suppression can be painkillers, allergy medication, recreational drugs, some forms of therapy, or, you know, skin creams, inhalers, tranquilizers, sleeping pills, antibiotics, beta blockers, hormone replacement, birth control pills, and yeah, recreational drugs such as smoking, whatever that may be. Those temporary forms of suppression also have, negative effects on the body because that's how it reacts to it. But unlike the irreversible stuff I mentioned, these have a potential of not harming the body to an extent where it cannot reach baseline level again. It will be able to recover, and even after, years and years of smoking or taking birth control, for example, it's possible that your body is gonna completely heal itself and return to a level of homeostasis which it has been at before that practice has ever started in the first place. Now, common pathways of suppression include going from superficial to deep levels, outer to inner, specific to systemic, skin to lungs, joints to heart, physical to emotional, emotional to mental. So, as you see, the further the suppression gets continued, the deeper it goes. And, if you suppress a physical symptom that your body experiences, such as a skin rash. Let's say you have a skin rash on your hands. Now you're going to use some antibiotics or some creams to suppress it and drive it inwards, and that's gonna make some emotional symptoms pop up which you have never seen before, right? Because you now allowed the a disturbance, a disease, to go farther into your organism and cause destruction and unbalance on a deeper level of health, right? And the emotional plane is more vital to health than the physical. And then if emotions become suppressed, if you suppress your emotions, that can lead to the same type of complications now on the mental level, where you develop delusions and your entire psyche is affected, and you are basically now diseased at the very deepest level of your being, which is your mental being, because that is kind of the deepest version of you, you know? You are not as much your skin, your fingers, your, you know, even your lungs or your heart or your kidneys, as much as you are your brain. You get what I mean? Because you are kind of your brain. You get what I mean? So, environment, food consumption, recreational drug habits, recreational activities, exercise, social family life, emotional traumas, miasmatic tendencies, which is something that I'm going to explain later, all have an impact on suppression and susceptibility of the organism. Let me explain what susceptibility is. Now, everybody has a different disposition from birth. So, susceptibility is just how strongly you are able to be affected by things. So, a person with a nut allergy is going to be way more strongly affected by, you know, accidentally consuming a Snickers bar than somebody who doesn't have a nut allergy, because that person is susceptible to that, you know, substance. So that just means that they are going to be way more strongly affected, and it just means that they have a predisposition towards certain diseases. So it is more likely for them to develop certain types of diseases. Right. Some other examples can be shell shock, fright, fear, excessive joy, loss of family members, grief, business worries, disappointed ambition, extreme physical or mental exhaustion can all lead to suppression on some level. Now, wait. James Tyler Kent, who was one of the best and most important figures in the homeopathic community, I guess. One of his quotes is, "Aggressive allopathic treatment merely suppresses chronic disease as long as the treatment is kept up, after which the disease always come back as bad as before or worse." So what he's trying to say is that traditional medicine, and by allopathic he means, yeah, traditional medicine, is going to suppress the symptoms of disease and suppress diseases. And as long as the treatment is kept up, as long as you keep, you know, consuming their weird pills and stuff, as long as you keep suppressing, it's fine. You're not going to notice that shift in health. You're not going to notice the disease going, you know, deeper inwards. But the moment you stop suppressing, the moment you let go, that's when the disease comes back, because it now has an outlet to return to the, you know, to a level where it can be seen. And what ends up happening is it usually returns back in a much more complicated and much more deranged and broken down form than before the treatment has even started. And right, and as I've explained in my video about homeostasis, the stronger the suppression, the stronger the vital force is going to react in the future, and the more dangerous and complicated the new symptoms are going to be. Now, how can suppression occur with homeopathic remedies? Because homeopathic remedies are supposed to cure, you know, from the deepest level and not cure just based on individual symptoms, rather on the totality, on the whole being of the patient and of, yeah. So how can that occur with homeopathic remedies? Let me keep reading from my thing. A common mistake which beginner practitioners make is instantly trying to prescribe a remedy without first tracking down the direction in which the disease is going. Now, the symptoms which your body experiences, the symptoms which you show, a runny nose, a skin rash, bronchitis, all that, for example, it's the way that the disease speaks to you. It's the way that the disturbance of the vital force is able to communicate with us, to give us hints to what is wrong, right? It's the language of disease. That's what symptoms are. So based on looking at the symptoms, you can understand where your organism is currently at with, disease and curing itself. And yeah, so beginner homeopaths without any experience are gonna prescribe a remedy as soon as possible, right? Because that's also what the patient expects of them, is to, instantly get cured without first tracking down the direction in which the disease is going. You must let the vital force express itself in its own chosen way when it's deranged, as only in an uninterrupted state of its natural development can you get a clear picture of the diseased state and the direction in which it is moving. It is possible that by observing the direction of disturbance, you can find out that no treatment is necessary at all, as the disease is moving in the direction of cure according to Hering's law, meaning from inner layers of the body to the outer, center to periphery, from above downwards, from more to less vital organs, with symptoms disappearing in the reverse order of their appearance. Now let me explain Hering's law of cure, what I just read. Hering's law of cure, let's start with the disease going from inner layers of the body to the outer, center to periphery. Why is that a sign of health? It's if you have a lung thing going on, or some delusion or some emotional mess that you're in, and that goes away. However, you now have a skin rash or something like that. That just means that the disturbance is moving from inwards to outwards. And that is a sign of health, because the deeper the disease is, the more likely it is to affect us, and the farther we are from health. And if it's going from inner levels to outer levels on the body, that means it's moving to a closer level of health, because it's moving out, it's getting out of you. You get what I mean? Slowly, and yeah, I don't know what I just said. From above downwards. So, mental symptoms are going to turn into symptoms that have to do with the body, physical symptoms, etc., etc. From more to less vital organs. Now, that also makes sense. If you are moving towards health, your body's you're gonna notice that, the disturbance can go from more important to less important organs, because what the vital force tries to do is protect you to the best ability that it can. And sometimes it's difficult to do, and it's difficult to eliminate a disturbance for the vital force. That's why it can make it all target the kidneys, and in order to protect and save the rest of the organism. So the vital force sometimes allows the disturbance to basically park its car, park itself, and allow it to localize at a specific organ so that it can, protect the other organs at a better level. And yeah, if a disease is moving from more important organs to less important organs, that just means that it's moving in a positive state, in a positive direction of cure. And with the symptoms disappearing in the reverse order of their appearance. Now let's say I'm a patient and you're a homeopath, right? And I come into your office and the first time I came into your office, I said, the way that everything went wrong is that I got a skin rash. So my skin became all red. And then the next thing that happened is I got chronic bronchitis and like symptoms of asthma, like my lungs were completely messed up. And what ended up happening after that is I started having some emotional trouble. And after that emotional trouble, I got crazy delusions that are completely outside of this planet that made me completely like fear myself. Like I was thinking about some scary stuff, right? That's what the patient comes in with, right? And then let's say you don't instantly prescribe a remedy, rather you wait and you allow you allow the disturbance to express itself the way in which it desires. What could occur is that a month later, or I don't know, a week later, I come into your office and I say, yo, doctor, homeopath, whatever, like something weird is happening. My delusions went away, so I don't get those crazy thoughts anymore, but I started getting like those crazy emotions again, right? And after those emotions went away, I got the asthma back, the bronchitis came back, I started coughing again, but the delusions and those emotions, they're now gone. They're now gone. It's just now I have this lung thing again going on. And what's so horrible is that after the lung condition went away, I got the skin rash back and now my skin is messed up again. That would basically be a hint for the homeopath that you don't even need to prescribe a remedy. You don't even need to cure this person because the vital force, the organism has been able to cure itself according to Hering's law of cure, because the diseases, the symptoms, they disappeared in the same order in which they appeared. So you saw it went from outside, skin, lungs, to inside, brain, and then it slowly went from brain, which is emotions, stuff like that, to the lungs, and then back to the skin, and then maybe it is a matter of time until even the skin eruption, the skin symptoms would disappear, and then the person is at a level of, and then the person is cured, and you didn't even need to do anything because you saw that according to Hering's law of cure, which I just explained, the patient was basically curing themselves, and you do not need to prescribe a remedy every single time. And however, if the patient came into your office and you instantly prescribe a remedy without first tracking the direction in which the disease is going, that remedy is gonna have an effect on the body, and it's going to, how can I make it make sense? What it's gonna do is it's gonna slightly change the symptoms which the body experiences, which basically means that you're not gonna be able to track down the direction in which the disturbance is going as well as you could if you didn't prescribe a remedy right away. Does that make sense? Right, so using homeopathy to treat acute diseases minimizes the sacrifice which the vital force must endure. So during acute disease, the vital force may find it necessary to produce a partial cure, which is when it pushes the disturbance within, possibly sacrificing a specific organ for the good of the totality of the organism. And different types of suppression can have an effect on different organs. That's basically a concept that I explained earlier, which is that in order for the organism to be at a better state of general health, what the vital force can do is allow the disturbance to localize at a specific organ and allow one specific organ to take all the damage and, completely get messed up so that the rest of the body can cure itself while the disturbance is busy, with the kidneys or with the lungs. The rest of the body is slowly curing itself and gaining the power which it requires to eliminate the localized disease at the kidneys, for example. Cool. Let's see. And yeah, so patients who have a history of suppressed emotional and physical symptoms, it, just like I explained in my last video, what could be beneficial is finding a creative, undestructive, like, how can I say this? Yeah, expression, like form of expression, to find a productive and, yeah, something where you don't cause anyone else harm, basically like a harmless way of expressing the things which you have been suppressing for a long time. So as I explained in my last video, if you strongly dislike your boss at work and he screams at you every day and you don't have the right to scream back at him, even though that's what you desire to do, you want to punch him, but you're not allowed to do that because you're gonna get fired, you're gonna lose your money, all the bad stuff, right? But what you can do at the end of the day is go to a gym and hit a boxing bag to release some of the built up emotions which you've acquired during the day. And it doesn't solve the problem, but you're gonna suffer less in the long term if you at least have any type of outlet for those built up emotions, feelings, etc., etc. Let's see. I tried moving the camera so you don't see the pile of clothes that I got there, but it's truly too late now. I think you caught me. You caught me. I have a giant pile of clothes on my couch. And guess what? I'm not gonna do anything about it. They're just gonna keep laying there, and I don't know why I just tried to hide it, as if there was like a dead body laying there that I just showed to the entire world. It's not that deep. Anyways, now an aggravation is usual from homeopathic prescribing, as the vital force becomes free to move where it has before been blocked and suppressed. And now symptoms which may have been suppressed in an individual might pop up as the organism is going through dynamic changes. It must be clearly communicated with a patient suffering homeopathic aggravation of symptoms that what is currently happening is the best possible reaction which the vital force can have for the stimulus under which it is under. Aggravations usually disappear within a short period of time, but some patients can become stuck with an aggravation, in which case a new remedy may need to be prescribed. Now, why do homeopathic remedies cause aggravations? Aggravation meaning that the symptoms which you experience, for example, a skin rash, a person comes with a skin rash, I prescribe a homeopathic remedy, and a day later, the patient says, yo, my skin rash has become even more strong. It's even like it burns and it itches even more. What can I do? Why? You're supposed to cure me, not make me worse. But homeopathic remedies are based on the law of similars, and homeopaths prescribe those remedies based on the law of similars, which means that they're going to give a remedy which is of healing power, but has the same energetic being to it, it's on the same frequency as the disease disturbance in the organism, which is why it's able to match it and eliminate it. And what it's gonna do, what a homeopathic remedy does, is it's gonna stimulate the vital force. It's gonna stimulate the immune system, the organism itself, to heal itself. And what a homeopathic remedy does is it just navigates and it shows the organism and the vital force where it's stuck, where it has gotten confused, where it reached like a ceiling level where it's unable to break further, like break free and, you know, keep going to cure the body. That's what disease is. The disease is when the body's stuck. It's when your own body doesn't know what it can do to heal itself, because we as human beings, we have a very strong, you know, immune system, and we have this vital force which does everything it can to keep us in balance and harmony on all levels. And when disease occurs, it's just that this vital force is now completely stuck and it doesn't know where it has to go. And the homeopathic remedy is like, it doesn't do anything. It's just like it's like holding up a sign. It's like holding up a sign, like that's the direction in which you need to go, you know? Like, you know, like when you're walking in the woods and you get lost and there's like a sign that says like, in 20 kilometers, you're gonna reach, you know, this city. And that way, you know, like, oh, if I go there, then I'm gonna, you know, escape the forest. Same way with the homeopathic remedy. The homeopathic remedy is like a sign to the vital force, like, yo, if this is where you need to go to cure yourself. This is where you need to put your power inside. This is where you need to concentrate your powers so that you can come to cure, because that's what it wants, right? And yeah, it must be, and the reason why there's an aggravation, the reason why there's an initial aggravation is because there is now even more of a similar type of reaction on the body. I don't know how I can explain it in a simple way that can make sense. Basically, the reason why there's an aggravation is that now that the sign has been shown to the vital force now navigates all its energy towards, you know, oh, it's the skin rash that we have to heal. Let's heal the skin rash. But it's such a powerful reaction because the homeopathic remedy has such a strong and powerful influence on the body on a energetic, spiritual level in a way that it first has an aggravation. It's so powerful that at first, the first, you know, couple of days even, the patient is going to be worse than they were before they came into your office. But it's like the only way out is through. That is, I think, a good quote that explains it. The only way out of disease is through the disease. So you have to give an extra push to the disease, give it an extra, you know, an extra boost in order to break free, you know? And that homeopathic remedy is that extra boost, which causes an aggravation, which causes the patient to feel even worse than they did before they came into your office. But that should, in most cases, only last anywhere from a couple days. Because then what ends up happening is the body moves to greater levels of health and you cure your patient, right? And everybody's happy. But it must be clearly communicated that that is something that can happen. Let's see how long I've been talking to. Yeah, that's a half an hour video. I wanted to make like 10-minute videos and like keep it chill, keep it simple. But if you talk about smart things, you know, if you talk about something that actually has like meaning, if you actually try to teach someone something, some things can just not be explained in a 5-minute video. If I was making a review on this Lego Darth Vader, right, that I have right here, maybe I could have done it in 5 minutes, right? But I'm actually trying to do something smart over here, so my bad, you know, we're gonna have 30, 40, 50 hour long minute videos here because my brain just keeps going. And I think, yeah, I'm able to tie a lot of subjects together, and that just results in me talking more than the average attention span of a human being, and even my attention span. Like, I don't watch YouTube videos that are 30 minutes long, but what I'm hoping is that people find the stuff I'm saying interesting, and maybe they can actually, you know, sit through it. Yeah. I think that's enough for now. I talked about suppression and homeopathy. So I think that's it. Thank you. See you later.